Everybody, what is going on? The catch. Fam, I hope you guys are doing well tonight. Hope everyone had a great Friday. Hope you guys are looking forward to a great weekend. And I hope you guys are ready for another live 2024 fantasy football mock draft here at the catch with you guys, with the catch fam. Got one spot left. Link is on Discord, and I'll put it in the chat on YouTube in just a second if it doesn't get filled. And we are going to start this mock as soon as it is filled. So we got Pete in the house tonight. What's up, my guy?
Not much. Hanging out. Watched a little minor league baseball with the Pops. Drafting injured. Almost lost my middle finger. I'm not flipping you guys off, even though I want to sometimes. Just kidding. I love you guys. But yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. I was out all week. I need a draft. I got the itch. We all know about that itch.
I know we almost lost you for the season, bro.
Could you imagine? I got no finger. I can get my middle finger amputated. I got 4 fingers. It's tough. I don't know if I could be able to handle fantasy.
We need you to help edit, man.
Yeah, this is true. It was surprisingly difficult because I can't right click with my middle finger. It took a little bit longer to do stuff. But we're good. We're good. A couple stitches. We'll be fine.
I'm glad you're okay. I truly am. All right, let's get this link. Oh, no, there it goes. All right, we are starting now. Let's do it. All right. It is July 19th. Training camp, rookie training camp has started for select teams. And I think training camp started for the Bears today.
I know the Vikings start this weekend. I think everybody, come Monday, I think everybody's basically going to be in camp.
Yeah. So we should start to get some updates, hopefully. Yeah. The Bears started today. I'm on the clock. I should probably
pay attention.
Oh, we got an interesting first round.
Give me man. Yeah. Okay. We're going. Oh, what is McCaffrey at the 1-3? What is happening right now? Is this real life?
Well, I talked about this in the mock draft that I uploaded, I believe. If not, I talked about this at some point in something. I've done so much this week on the channel, but we're going to start to see this. This is the time of year where somebody, like it happens every offseason where all offseason it's like Christian McCaffrey's a 1.1. Justin Jefferson's a 1.1 last year, right? Austin Eckler's a 1.1 the year before. Then as the offseason progresses, people are going to start to be like, well, I want CeeDee Lamb at the 1.1, or I really want Tyreek Hill. Or I saw a mock going on last night where Bijan Robinson went at the 1.1. So you're going to start to see some things change. Justin Jefferson at the 1.1. Okay. I mean, don't count it out. People are going to draft who they want in the first round. And I haven't seen that yet, not going to lie. But
I was going to say, JJ's normally the guy that falls out of that top tier of wide receiver.
Yeah, but I mean, it's good practice. Get some different exposure, so to speak, some different looks. But yeah, so by the 24th, every team will be full swing, veterans and rookies. Bears were the earliest. They started today. The Ravens start tomorrow. Packers start on Sunday, sorry. And then other than that, every other team starts the 23rd or the 24th. So let's all cross our fingers. Least amount of injuries possible. And hopefully the only type of news we get is like, I don't know, Tavion Wicks is catching more balls than Romeo Dobbs, and Stephon
Brandon Ayuk is being stupid.
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to get too much of an update on Ayuk at this point. That's just going to be back and back bickering. But, like hopefully we're just getting these type of updates that kind of swing ADP for no reason. Like a coach talks about
using this player more this
yeah,
year.
just literally name any
Yeah.
player, like, you know, and then everyone's like, oh my gosh, got to start drafting him. Like people are going to figure it out. And that's just what the offseason brings, right? But at least it's going to give us some look at, you know, players in uniform, teams together. Like, I don't think like Jonathan Brooks is a good example, right? So earlier today, the Panthers placed Jonathan Brooks on the active / non-football injury list because he tore his ACL last November. And there's actually a chance that Jonathan Brooks misses like a few games to start the season. And people are kind of drafting Jonathan Brooks with the impression that like they can start him right away. And that might not be the case. But I think a lot of people are also drafting him to with the expectation that down the stretch he's going to take over that backfield. So they might not care, right? 3 days ago, Jordan Love with high praise for wide receiver Dontavion Wicks, who's already been like a hot sleeper name throughout the offseason, right? Another one, which Shane just brought up in the chat, is Chris Olave starting the offseason on the PUP list, the shoulder injury as of 8 hours ago. So these are the type of things, like Olave doesn't go in the second round tonight. You know, these are the type of things that just impact ADP, which a lot of this stuff probably isn't going to matter, but it's the off season.
It matters. It's like this isn't just like off season stuff anymore. Like we're here.
That's fair. But like, I do think like one thing I always try to remind people of at this time of year, especially for veterans, you're gonna have guys pop up on the injury list, and just don't freak out about it.
Yeah, they're not. They're not practicing.
Right. I mean, some of it's gonna matter, but then like if you have like Derrick Henry's not practicing, it's like week 1, Derrick Henry's going to be out there. George Kittle's not. George Kittle might be a bad example because he's
always
you know. But like, you know, Tyreek Hill's not practicing. Some people are going to be like, oh my goodness, and it's going to be like Tyreek Hill's going to be out there week 1. Like, just don't worry about it. So keep that in mind. But also to your point, Pete, some of the stuff is going to matter. So we shall see.
Like there was a weird story about Tua. Speaking of the Dolphins, like the Dolphins got the Tua quarterback contracts, kind of scaring them off Tua. They don't want to re-sign him, really.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's like, okay.
And it's like the Tua situation is he's like this one quarterback popping up that is there's an argument to not give market value based on the injury history. Then you got a player like Jordan Love who is in position to fight for market value because the Packers last year kind of gave him the opportunity to come in and prove himself on a short deal, and he did. And now like you have this weird negotiation of like, is Jordan Love at like 48 mil per year, or is he going to get way up there at like 54, 55 mil per year? So that's a situation to monitor as well. But I think the Packers and Jordan Love going to get it done. Tua, on the other hand, I think they'll get it done because I think what it's going to come down to is, you know, McDaniel's a head coach. Like, is this your guy or is this not your guy? And he's probably going to say, this is my guy, you know?
I don't know. You
That's
know,
true.
what's an interesting thing? If Dak Prescott hits the open market, that's a really tasty quarterback to play in that offense. It's this, you know, he's a much better version of Tua than what Tua is.
Yeah, and you think back to like the Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford situation, right? I mean, Jared Goff / Matthew Stafford, I should say. It's like they went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, you know, and at the same time, McVay came in and said, "This is not my guy in this system. Like, I want a different player." And so you could definitely be correct. You never know. It's the NFL, right? So we'll see. Plenty of off-season storylines to monitor. And sorry, I'm on the clock. Dang it. Dang it. Sean White gone. It's okay. I'll go
Your
James Cook.
boy. Oh,
Go James Cook.
Second boy.
All right. Let's see who's in the chat tonight. What's going on, everybody? Let us know how you guys are doing. Any fantasy questions, any fantasy topics you guys have, throw them at us. Dom, good to see you. What's going on? Cameron, hello, hello. How are you going to free form pass on college football with your finger? That's dude. Have you been playing?
Yes, of course I've been playing. What do you mean free form? Free form pass, is that the default? Whatever. I'm lighting people up right now. We are killing it. I just started the big dynasty with the boys from high school.
Nice.
We're gonna rebuild the Kentucky Wildcats over here. But I don't use my middle finger to game. It's fine.
I wish I had time to play because I've been like seeing all kinds of stuff and clips and streamers and like it looks great.
It's fun. It was, I should stream it more. I will. You know what? I will stream it after the view on Twitch. Everybody go check it out. But yeah, well, you have a child and you have fantasy and a life. So you have things to do. The recruits' names are wild. Whatever the AI they use to generate fake players' names that you're recruiting, they're out of pocket. There are some crazy names I've seen.
My favorite thing is like, so, okay. The mode where like you start as a player trying to make it on the roster and everything.
Yeah. Road to glory. Yeah.
Yeah. That is like, I've seen some hilarious stuff coming out of that.
How the Instagram thoughts can block you on Instagram.
Yeah. It's great, dude.
Whoever coded that was having a grand old time putting that into the game.
And it's like, why can't Madden just take like steps to make franchise mode? Or like they did the thing on there, which I played, of course, which sucked, where you like are a college prospect and
the story, it was like kind of like a story mode or whatever.
Because NBA 2K had that too, right? But it didn't actually suck. I just like, why does Madden have to suck? Dude?
Because Ultimate Team is where they make all their money on that stupid game.
That's true.
They have Ultimate Team on this, and nobody's playing it, but everybody just bought the game early for $100. I saw 2 million individual players before the official release, so that's $200 million they got.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe it, man. All right, let me make selection. Tommy, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Chase, what is up, my dude? Do I want to go running back or receiver?
I will not input. I don't want to cloud your judgment. Or do I?
Some good wide receivers sitting here. Cats, can you hurry up and make your pick? Cats misses his pick. Gets Mixon. All right, I'll go Walker. All right. Tommy, granted, I've only been doing multiple leagues for a few years now. I haven't got the 1.1 probably over 5 years in any leagues. If so, this year it's Bijan or CMC. Yeah, I talk about that a lot too. It's like once we get to the middle of August, it's like I say it every year. It's like when you're in the first round, you just go out and get your guy, especially if you know where you're drafting from. And how often does the 1.1 repeat as the best fantasy player? Not very often. So if you want to be, a little risky and take someone over CMC, I'm not going to knock you for it, but CMC, CeeDee Lamb feel like the top two safest picks, but there's a very good chance someone like Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, we talked earlier in this week, like AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like finish as the number one at their respective position. It's just that time of year. Tough decisions.
Man, this is a toxic wide receiver tier.
I think you've got a nice little start. Reed, I think, is a good value there.
I can't afford to go Rice or Addison there, which I kind of wanted to. I'll go here too.
Ooh, nice.
I kind of like this team. I kind of really like this team so far.
Yeah, you've had nice value falling to you. Smith at the 4-1 is just stupid.
Yeah, him and Pittman. I was gonna go Smith if Pittman got scooped up before him.
I like Pittman a lot there.
Gibbs. I'm love. If you're picking at 110 to 112. Even 1.9, I love Jahmyr Gibbs at that late spot.
I love Gibbs there too. And I think he's going to be another name that's going to get that. The top 12 is just tough. So much value in Brown, Puka, and Garrett Wilson, but Gibbs just so much ridiculous value there too. And pairing him with a JT or Barkley, Kyron or Henry.
I've pretty much committed. Like I'm going double run. If I'm picking at 110 back, I'm going double running back there. Unless somebody gets scooped up way in front, I'm just gonna go running back there and call it a day.
It's hard not to go double hero running back in that spot.
Yeah, Gibbs, Barkley, Gibbs, Kyron, Gibbs, Taylor. Obviously, I'd even go Gibbs, Henry if
I would too.
Henry fell to you.
I would too. Kat says most people still don't know the difference between training camp pup and normal pup. It's true too.
Well, they got to come off the training camp pup, or they're on the regular pup.
It's true. They'll be moved on there. Sorry, trying to make this draft pick. I think I'll be okay. Glad I got in this one at pick 3, first draft with real people. Congrats. It's that time of year. We're glad you're here too.
Just don't get pick 2.
You know, I think
it's getting better. It's getting better.
There's good builds from just about anywhere. You gotta plan for those first 3 picks.
John, we got to run with the meme. The meme on the channel is no anti 1-2. I might make a shirt that says never 1-2.
What I like the 1-1 more than the 1-2. I will.
Yes, I do too. I like the double. I like the flexibility you get with the back-to-back picks.
Yeah. Tommy, hoping for my J Love to Wicks connection and Dynasty. Wicks is your boy. If Dontavion Wicks truly does break out this year, you'll be the first to feel or to reap the benefits.
Truther, Dontavion Wicks truther over there.
And now the next wide receiver on the roster, what's his name? Bo Melton is like becoming a popular late like final selection, as Matt LaFleur talked him up the other day. That's what I'm talking about in training camp. And you look at like what he did last year. Okay, he had 16 receptions for 218 receiving yards, 13.6 yards per catch, and a touchdown. It's like, why we don't need another Packers wide receiver in the mix, but right now we have one. So that wide receiver room is super young and on paper super loaded too. Tua did a cool 30 for 30 on ESPN. I'll have to check that out. Dak to DK would be crazy. I mean, I think a lot of people feel this way, but I don't think I think the Cowboys just want to go full rebuild for whatever reason.
I have no idea what the Cowboys are doing.
I don't know. It's just like, what is this? They're just going to build around Lamb and Parsons, I guess, which is like, okay, but it's like, why didn't he just do something in the last 2 or 3 years, head coach wise, skill position wise, to get like this needed a little bit more, but also the playoff coaching's been trash.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, they're cheap. He fell in love. They had a sleepover. They gave each other, they played spin the bottle. They made s'mores.
I just don't know, bro. I mean, it's easy to forget for some people. They got blown out in the playoffs by the Packers this past year.
And this was the year. Like they were the 2 seed and had home field until the NFC Championship game. And they were the best home team in football last year in the regular season. It was like, this is the year. We got to win one road game against the Niners. And if the Niners get upset, we're hosting the NFC Championship game.
Right. And honestly, like on paper, they kind of matched up semi well with the Niners. Because the Niners are just so freaking loaded,
And then they got blown the hell out.
But yeah, I mean, last year, here are the teams they beat. And this is easy to forget too. They beat the Giants week 1, 40-0. They beat the Jets. Yeah. Beat the Jets at home with no Rodgers. They lost to the Cardinals. Almost said they beat the Cardinals. And they lose to the Cardinals on the road.
Blow it against, that was like, same old Cowboys.
They destroy the Patriots at home. Then they lose to the Niners big time week 4. They barely beat the Chargers. They do beat the Rams at home, 43-20. They lose to the Eagles. They blow out the Giants again. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Cowboys. Barely beat the Seahawks, but that was a good game. Barely beat the Eagles. Lose to the Bills. Lose to the Dolphins. Barely beat the Lions and everyone. That was the controversial game, right?
Mm-hmm. They lost that game in my head.
Sure. They destroy the Commanders to end the season. It's not really a great season on paper.
But it felt great, right? It felt great. It was like, oh man, the Cowboys. Woo!
For sure. Because some of these games, like when I say they were blowing out teams, they were blowing
them out teams.
But then when they get to these teams that are competitive, they were either losing or barely beating them. And the Cardinals, they also lost to Josh Dobbs, right? It's like
the GOAT. What are you talking about?
Josh Dobbs is the GOAT. It's true. But it's like, yeah, the two teams they were mainly blowing out were the Giants and the Commanders. They did beat up on the Eagles beginning of December too. But the Eagles were also like the Eagles defense was butt last year. So anyways, sorry to any Cowboys fans in the chat. We just had to relive all that.
They're used to it. Every Cowboy fan I know has given up. They're like,
and it's hard.
Mike's fat, whatever. We quit. Same old with the Cowboys. They'll be fine.
Right. Dak is MVP in Miami, and I think it's possible, but it's also like because I am a Dak Prescott fan. I think Dak is great in fantasy. We put everything aside, right? Fantasy wise, like Dak, fantastic, But can Dak is the problem with the Cowboys not winning playoff games? Dak, because people blame it on Dak.
It's a little Dak.
It's a little Dak, but it's not completely Dak, right?
It's not 100% Dak, but it's at least 50% Dak.
Sure. Because how much better is, Miami's, and because we're right now to win MVP, you have to be on the road to the Super Bowl, at least the championship game. It's just you have to be a quarterback on the road to the championship game. It's just a fact. And if you're not, it's just become, I don't want to say a meaningless award, but it's like close to it.
Like realistically, it should go to Mahomes every year. Like if we're being truthful, it should go to Mahomes every year.
If it wasn't Mahomes last year, it should have been CMC. Like but they're just not going to give it. That's why they have the Offensive Player of the Year award. It's like just give it.
Which I'm okay with. Yeah,
sure, just fine. Or it should have gone to like Tyreek Hill or like CeeDee Lamb.
See, Tyreek Hill fell off a cliff at the end of the season is the problem. He just didn't finish.
Fair. Anyways, all right, let's move down the chat. Dynasty Superflex giving Stroud and McConkey, getting Richardson, Devonta in a second. Depends on the rest of your roster. I want Stroud. Like I'm really high on Devonta Smith in a second. I'd rather have than Loudon McConkey, who I do like. And I like Richardson. I get it. He's still high in Dynasty Superflex rankings, but I want Stroud. Stroud is easily the most important part of this equation here. It really, once again, whenever it comes down to Dynasty, depends on the full roster. Everything, top, head to toe. It's close. And you have to ask yourself the question, is the decisions you have to make in Dynasty about where you stand on Anthony Richardson, his play style, longevity versus a player like CJ Stroud who is going to sit in the pocket.
It's like if you don't have a 10 years of CJ Stroud being a top 10 quarterback of the NFL, I would be shocked.
Because Stroud and some people's Superflex Dynasty rankings is at 1.
Yeah.
Like people are taking him over Mahomes and startups. And if they're not, they're taking him at 1-2, and if they're not, taking him at 1-3. Mahomes and Allen are the only two right now.
And that still feels like, well, I have to kind of like Mahomes and Allen are like win now. Like CJ Stroud is like, I'm going to be good in 5 years.
Yeah,
no problem.
Sorry. We'll come back. Chat, what do you guys think? Give your input on this one. Stroud and McConkey, or Richardson, Devonta in a 2025 second. We'll go J-Lo here. Heard you can visit the players' homes while recruiting in the game. You can do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, you also can DM them on social media, but you don't get to control what you say. But yeah, I DM kids and I, search their social media feed, see what they're tweeting.
Tommy says he's stuck on NES, not a huge gamer. Hey, shout out to NES, man. Still play whatever football game was on there.
Tecmo Bowl?
Tempo, yeah.
Tecmo
Bowl.
Bowl.
I have it on the Switch, and I did go through a little phase when I'd play like a game every night, like a couple years ago. Albert, what's up, my guy? Mr. Skur says, don't like my receivers. They're not too bad from what I can see. Yeah, I mean, he kind of went double running back tight end early, so it's risky business.
Risk.
Dom says, I live in a world where the person throwing the JJ is younger than me. Bro, half the players in the NFL are younger than me. Makes you feel like
probably. What? Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel awful.
Sam Darnold's like a baby. 25. Sam Darnold, you mean, right? No, I know he probably means JJ McCarthy, who's 21.
I think when Joe Burrow got his contract, I think really when like Bryce Harper, which obviously on the NFL got his big contract, I was like, I could have really gone a different direction in my life.
I think Bryce Harper is like 3 days older than me or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that was a thing. But we knew about Harper in high school. He's one of those LeBron James types. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated 16. So everybody kind of
the traitor.
Yeah.
We won a World Series.
You won without him. You won without him.
He's still a traitor. I'm wondering how Amon-Ra Puka dynasty team will perform this year. Probably well. I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, if it's bad, then I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I mean, it could be because you're going to start 3 wide receivers and 2 flexes in most dynasty leagues. So it depends on the rest of the
roster. If those two are bad, then
yeah,
what are we doing here? We don't know. It just will show you.
That's fair.
We know nothing about fantasy.
Cameron likes the 1-2 this year. I have drafted some teams in like Underdog that I really like from the 1-2.
Cameron is Mr. Zig, by the way, or Zag. He whatever the opposite sentiment is. Cameron, no running backs over here. I'm going 30 wide receivers. I love it. I love his approach.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Oh crap! I'm on the clock.
It fits him though perfectly because he loves going rotational running back. So 1-2, you get your first pick at the top receiver usually because you assume CMC is going 1, so he can scoop up his favorite receiver. He can get another receiver on the back end, and then get a third receiver going there, and then probably a quarterback on the 4th, and then start drafting running backs. And he's feeling like, oh yeah, he's feeling good.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think you can build a team at, like I say every year, from any position. But the 1-2 has not been kind to me and Pete in mock drafts. So maybe we just need to not draft with you guys from the 1-2.
This is true. You need to draft at home where people don't know what they're doing. And Josh Allen is the 4th overall pick. And it's like, okay, that means I'm getting somebody good on the back end. Somebody's going to be there.
That should be vetoed.
Ooh, yes.
Tommy says I moved from Christian Watson to Wicks. It's just a loaded wide receiver room. I think it's going to be hard for everyone to ball. And I like Musgrave too. Mr. Skurs. Surprised I got Stroud at the 7-3. He is falling back in drafts, but also quarterbacks have kind of been light in these mocks that we've done with you guys, but they're still going in order. You still see Mahomes, Lamar, Richardson, Stroud, Burrow, Kyler, Dak. So, once we're in the middle of August, that probably won't be happening.
Yeah, quarterbacks have been creeping up the board ever so slightly the closer and closer we get. Like Kyler and Burrow were pretty consistently like 9th, 10th round, and now both 7th round this year. Yeah.
And like I locked up Jordan Love in the 10th. Mm-hmm. Like I'm still waiting at quarterback in most of my drafts, but I'm only going to wait so long at the end of the day.
Yeah, I probably waited around. I probably should have went Love instead of Dubs in the 10th in front of you.
I think Tua's fine. I think Purdy's fine.
I would have preferred Purdy for sure.
I'm starting to want to get some shares of Jaden Daniels Because I've said all off season long, like one of the first takes I had this offseason was I like that Washington offense on paper, and I'm starting to rise on the potential upside that he's going to bring to the table specifically in a Cliff Kingsbury offense too.
I just watched that highlight tape and my heart jumps out of my chest.
Mine does too.
Oh God.
One of the issues with Kyler was in that system, he got hit a lot. But if he can stay healthy, I think that system fits him.
And Kyler does not look for contact. Kyler avoids contact at all costs. He is a slippery little guy.
Slippery guy.
I'm pretty sure Jaden Daniels sticks his head into guy's chest.
Yeah, and I think it's just a cautionary tale when you look at Richardson last year. Like, Washington's got to look at that and be like, we cannot let that happen, right?
Mm-hmm. But sometimes you just can't take that out of, sometimes a guy is just like...
But, like, behind a quarterback like Mahomes, like, yeah, I might take that chance in some leagues this year for sure. All right, going back to Rain's question, Shane likes Stroud. Mr. Skur says, I'm a Colts fan and I want Stroud in that trade. So, yeah. I think I agree. And it's not like Ladd is a bad piece to have right now.
Colts fans are petrified, I'm sure. Like, they're talking themselves into, like, this is going to be perfect. We saw it's like I would have sleepless nights as a Colts fan, be like, oh God, is this going to work?
No, you're so close, right? Shane says I'm the same age as Gino. That is sad.
Hey.
I wonder, just looking at, who am I the same age as? I'm the same age as Gus Edwards.
Gus Buzz, perfect.
So, I mean, he is a beast.
You probably have better knees than him, too.
I might. But don't say that. I have a lot of shares of Gus this year. I need him to stay healthy.
He's, I feel like Harbaugh's got a decent... I don't remember Harbaugh guys getting beat up like that.
No.
Positive vibes.
He was fine last year. Oh, I'm on the clock. Should probably pick.
Last pick. No pressure.
I'll just take Brandon Cooks, I guess. Chase says, John, I know you're kind of a Washington fan. Is that O-line still bad? It's not great. It's basically
it can't be worse. Answer. It can't be worse. It didn't get much better. 100%.
Yeah.
It didn't get much better, but it can't be worse. It can't be worse.
Yeah, I mean, there are some teams right now that like the Jets and the Falcons. Like, these are like kind of underrated offensive line. I think like the Bears offensive line, not that bad. The Chargers, like there are a couple teams I think people aren't really equating into, players that they're taking. But Washington, I wouldn't say is anywhere near one of those teams. I mean, it's doable, but they're pretty far back in terms of rankings. And there's really nobody like who's been added in the offseason that like they added people in the offseason that could surprise us. But they're not great names. So I will say not good. Like they got a backup player from the Chiefs. So, and they got, they're moving a center over to guard from the Cowboys, I think. So it's like, yeah. Maybe sometimes you see a team do moves like this and like it works out. It's a new system. It works. But probably not. Being a Washington fan, probably not.
No, right, new ownership. It's good. It's fine.
That's true.
No more bad man.
Let's do some team reviews and do me a favor. Hit the like. Everyone hit the like right now. Okay. Everyone do it. All right. Can you do the 1.1? My friend is listening at my house. He's a 1.1. Yeah. Let's start with Shane's friend. JJ, a bold move tonight. Shane, ask your friend, why did he pick JJ at the 1? We just want to know. Like we said earlier, I mean, I stood up for him.
I know he's not a Vikings fan because no Vikings fan would ever do that.
And I mean, is it that like it's Justin
Mm-mm.
Jefferson,
No.
but the situation gets
Sam
Adam.
Darnold, MVP. Sam Darnold, MVP.
It's true. I'm starting to be okay with Adams. Okay. The main reason, wow, we got 2024 schedule put in here now, sleeper. The main reason is these last couple games with Aiden O'Connell, right? Outside of the Kansas City game, not bad.
He's getting
And
traded.
he might get traded, which also not bad, I don't think, but still a top 10 finish in full PPR. Because I went through and I did my top 32 overall rankings, which will be a video that I'm going to put out either Sunday or Monday. And it's like Adams, I still have pretty high in those rankings. It's just hard not to. As long as it's full PPR, if it's like a half PPR league, I don't feel as confident, but I'm okay with him there. Addison, Sutton, Mike Williams, Troy Franklin, good enough wide receiver room. Kamara, Jones, Singletary, Charbs, good enough running back room. Allen and Rodgers are good at quarterback. Kittle at tight end. So I would probably take another receiver over Rodgers, like Jahan Dotson's there, Ricky Pearsall, Brandon Cooks, a couple guys that went undrafted, maybe even. Just because if you spend a third round draft capital on Josh Allen, I'm probably just sticking with that in a single quarterback league and then looking to the waiver wire if I have to. So that really be my only note. Then wide receiver is a little scary because we don't know what's going on with Addison, and you're kind of needing him on this team because you're starting Allen, Kittle, JJ Adams, Kamara, Jones, and hoping to flex Addison and Sutton. Then you have other names here: Mike Williams, Troy Franklin, Zach Charbonnet, Devin Singletary. It's like, do you really want to start those guys in the flex? You might have to throw Devin Singletary in there. So, but overall, I mean, it's fine. Nothing crazy with this team that stands out to me, but single quarterback redraft you could get through here. He likes JJ. We made a bet on who's the number one wide receiver. He picked JJ. I picked Tyreek. So these things are going to happen, right? This is how fantasy football works, especially when you're playing with your buddies, right? So this is
like JJ too. So
yeah.
Just
Pete
scares me.
JJ.
It just scares me.
All right, Cat.
Uh-oh.
Cat's on the clock here. Trevor Lawrence, baby.
Go every time.
Gets a stack with Ingram. So you're good at quarterback and tight end. A-Chain, Mixon, Mostert, Robinson, Dowdle, a nice running back room.
I like the
Hill, stack. Ayuk, Flowers, Deontay, Wicks, Pearsall. This is a nice little team right here. Good value across the board throughout the draft for you, man. You're starting Telon, Ingram, A-Chain, and Mixon, Hill, Ayuk, Flowers, Deontay, Mostert, Robinson, Dowdle, Wicks, and Pearsall. I think are all guys that can fill in at their respective positions and the flex. This is a nice team. All right, I'm gonna get off a Cat's team before
this. Yeah, this is a team that's not scary when you look I look at it as Tyreek Hill maybe, but then it's these are all guys that are consistent double-digit crushers that people just don't even like. Flowers, Ayuk, Mixon, Mostert with the Dolphin stack. Yeah, I love this team.
Yeah, I don't want to make Cats feel too good about himself tonight. So, and Shane asked me to also go over his team. Sorry, Shane. Kyler and McBride, say no more. You're good there. Hall, Stevenson, Pollard, Zeke. Got to reunite Zeke and Tony Pollard. Gibson, Dobbins, Collins, Debo, Cooper, Judy, Downs. Team's fine. I probably go with another wide receiver over Dobbins. And maybe even over Gibson in a double flex format. Single flex format, I'd just take one extra receiver over one or two of these guys. So there's some pretty decent late round wide receivers at the end of this draft, and even one or two who didn't get drafted, I think we're fine. But waiver wire, those guys might still be there. So you're starting Kyler and McBride, Hall and Stevenson, Collins, Debo, Cooper. Then that second flex, you got some options. One of these bench guys will fill in, maybe Pollard. So good enough team. Starting roster looks good. That second flex spot might be a little shaky, but some of you guys just play single flex anyways. So good team. Taylor says my team at the 110 is hot ass. We got Dak and Caleb Williams. I think Caleb was an auto pick for you. I'm not sure. Kelsey at tight end. Barkley, Connor, Zach Moss, Roshan Johnson, Puka, Neighbors, McLaurin, Brian Thomas Jr., Lockett, and Palmer. I mean, I've seen worse, bro. I've seen worse. You're starting Dak and Kelsey, Puka, Neighbors, McLaurin, Brian Thomas Jr., but Lockett and Palmer can fill in at wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Then you're starting Barkley and Connor, and Moss is a guy who can fill in too. Roshan Johnson, he needed some running back depth, so team's okay. You know, I've definitely seen much worse. You're just gonna definitely be relying on Neighbors in a shaky situation. Brian Thomas has to be what he's supposed to be, but even then, like I said, Lockett and Palmer can help out here too. So this team's okay. I've definitely seen worse. All right, Cameron is at the 111. We got Richardson and Kincaid. Should be good there, but I'll probably still take one more quarterback. Like, there's late round value. I'm going to take a guy who stands in the pocket behind A-Rich, but you can always make adjustments on the waiver, theoretically. All right, late round running back, right? Najee and Warren, McLaughlin, Vidal, and Davis. I couldn't stomach this, but I get it. It's a 0 RB build. Your wide receivers are loaded. Wilson, Harrison, Kupp, Metcalf, J-Mo, Curtis Samuel. So starting A-Rich and Kincaid, Najee and Warren, or Najee and or Warren? Because week 1, how confident are you going to be putting McLaughlin, Vidal, or Davis out there? These are kind of project players that could take off. Maybe throw McLaughlin out there. Truthfully, week 1, who would you start if this was your team, Cameron, at RB2? I think you just throw Najee and Warren out there. And then you're fine. I mean, you're starting Wilson, Harrison, Kupp, Metcalf. Like, you're super good at wide receiver and flex, you know. So, yeah, I mean, RB is the only issue here. And, I mean, every year there are guys on the waiver wire running back. So, all right, Dom's at the 1-7. What's up, Dom? Burrow and Purdy. Beautiful. Njoku's fine. Henry, Rashad White, Javonte, Chubb, Wright, Algier, Chase Diggs, Kirk, Rice. So I'd probably just take one receiver over one of these late round running backs. Whether it's a receiver over Wright or Algier. But other than that, I think this is fine. You're starting Burrow, but Purdy's a great QB2. You're starting Njoku, starting Henry and White, Chase Diggs, Kirk, hopefully Rashee Rice. And that's the thing. If he gets suspended, I just like one more like late round wide receiver you can throw in there. If not, you're probably flexing Javonte. So, but you gotta take Nick Chubb. That's your boy. Team's pretty good. Mr. Skurs, why to take Chandler over Wicks? Let's see. I mean, he needed an RB4. That's probably why. He still got Dotson. I mean, you got Stroud, Laporta, C-Mac, ETN, Higgins, Allen, Ridley. JSN is your starting lineup's not bad. Brooks, Shakir, Chandler, Dotson, Goff on the bench. So it was a pretty solid team.
Chandler's a dog. Don't worry about it.
He is a dog. He's looking good at minicamp. Let's go. Cameron says, I'm actually really digging Shane's team. I did like Shane's starting lineup for sure. Might be the earliest I've seen Neighbors go. I've seen him in that range. Man, I did not put Neighbors in my top 32. He's in for some people's rankings. He's up there. He did not make the cut for me. Spoiler.
Don't spoil it. Make everybody watch. Come on. Gotta watch the
There's my
content.
one spoiler. Najee Warren 1000%. That's the whole point. I mean, that's fair. I just worry about that.
Go Pittsburgh.
See, Najee hit 1,000. Warren, I mean, you can. It's just you look at last year, it's like the ceiling's just low. But Arthur Smith last year, like if you started Bijan and Tyler Algier all year, I wonder how that would have went.
I don't know because Algier was terrible. I had
Yeah.
Algier. He did nothing. He had like one game where he did something. He was
He
awful.
started off like super hot. That first game, everyone's like, "What the world?" Then he was trash. You get like a little spike here and there, but
don't ever talk about the 2023 Atlanta Falcons ever again.
Tandem RB raises your floor, lets your wide receiver, such elite QB, elite tight end do the work. I have seen this work 100%. I'm not counting it out.
Imagine like a Monty, like if you hit a Monty Gibbs tandem last year, which was very easy and very possible to do last year, you would have been a monster.
That's a fair point. Eckler, Brian Robinson.
That's an
but yeah, I
interesting
mean, your entire ceiling comes from wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, which on this team, the upside is massive with the wide receivers, tight end, quarterback you have. But yeah, like you said, you just got to go out and hit the waiver. So I'm not counting it out. Feel like Levis is going to rip it to Ridley this year. I do think Ridley is good at his value.
Everyone's on the Will Levis train right now. I can't wait to see where this goes. Everyone's on the Will Levis train.
Combined last year, they scored 24 PPR points per game. That's interesting.
It's not terrible.
Chase says, watch Arthur Smith give Patterson goal line touches.
Yeah. He's going to run Justin Fields out there. Justin Fields is going to get the goal line touches.
I think they are going to do some weird stuff with Fields. All right, Pete. Late round quarterback. You got Tua and Herbert. Nice. Yeah. Pitts, tight end in the 8th. That's your boy.
Don't ever say that ever again. Don't ever call Pitts my boy. I tolerate him and I think he's a good value. I hate him.
that was your sleeper pick in our video.
It doesn't mean I don't hate him. Okay, I could still think he's good value. He's good value. 8-1, great value.
Now I'm gonna only refer to Kyle Pitts as your boy.
This is my guy. Yeah.
Gibbs, Taylor, Swift, Ford, Chuba. Very nice running back room. Pittman, Smith, Reed, Worthy, Dobbs. Nice. Yeah, I mean, this is a solid team. You're starting Tua, Herbert, starting Pitts, Gibbs, and Taylor. Starting Pittman, Smith, Reed. You could flex Swift on. You can really flex anyone left. I would probably end up flexing Swift because that's my boy. But Worthy, Ford, Dobbs, and even I really think people are underestimating Chuba right now. But yeah, this is a solid team. I'd be happy with this team for sure.
Yeah.
I think the upside of Worthy makes sense. Like where you drafted him. Ford was a great pick for you. Dobbs is completely fine where you got him. So
I love Chuba at 11, 12. I feel like, oh man, that's awesome. It's my 5th running back.
Yeah, I've been drafting a lot of late round Chuba and like Underdog lately. So especially if you get a report that Brooks is not going to play the first couple games, like Chuba's going to skyrocket. So I draft him while you can. All right, let's roast my team. J-Lo, greatest quarterback ever, so we're good there. I went Goddard and Hawkinson. Yes. So that's a nice combo, right? Because we can probably throw Hawk on the IR.
That's the dream. That's a
dream.
I can go
pick up stack. DeMarcus Robinson right off the waiver wire as an additional wide receiver. I go Cook, Walker, Eckler, Gus the Bus. So I'm okay with this. Some people might not like this RB room. If I come out of a full PPR, double flex mock draft with 4 running backs, I'm okay. And I like all 4 of these running backs. I prefer Rashad White over Cook, but I still really like Cook there. And I think Walker is being really undervalued. And you guys have heard me talk about Eckler and Edwards enough. So wide receivers, I love this wide receiver room. Like I don't think I'm able to draft this wide receiver room come August, but Amon-Ra, London, Moore, Hollywood, Watson. Some people might be lower on Hollywood or Watson, but I'm not. And then Cooks, like I said, I'd be chasing DeMarcus Robinson on this roster too. So I think wide receivers are loaded. I really like this team. I'd be starting Love and Goddard. We get T-Hawk down the stretch. Cook, Walker, St. Brown, London, Moore, Hollywood, and then you still have Watson available. Some running back depth here in Eckler and Edwards, who I like. And then Brandon Cooks, because the Cowboys, we're really harsh on them tonight. So I wanted to draft a Cowboy. So yeah, I'd like this team a lot. But I will give draft of the night to Kirk Cousins. This team was pretty filthy. And Pete, very good team tonight too. But overall, great drafting by everyone. And that does it for tonight's mock. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hit the like button. Check out the links down below. This was the first night I did not stream an Underdog draft all week. So tomorrow night I'll be back on with some Underdog drafts till my eyes fall out. It's usually what I do on Saturday nights. I'll have a video coming out tomorrow for you guys, and I'm going to either have a video coming out Sunday or Monday for you guys as well. We had a short come out today. Go check that out. We're just in grind mode, guys. So shorts, videos, streams will be coming at you guys left and right. It really does help out the channel if you guys go watch the videos, drop a like, drop a comment. Even if you just drop a comment making fun of me or something, go do it. But if you guys drop some of your deep fantasy knowledge on the videos in the comments, that helps as well. But we're in grind mode till the end of the fantasy season. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for mocking with us. Pete, I'll let you sign off and we will get out of here.
Yep, it's coming. We're here. Camp's here. Content's here. Like every day, guys. So yeah, hit that thumbs up. Share it with your friends you don't play fantasy with, because you don't want to lose your edge. Like the whole point is to have the edge. But yes, absolutely. I'm excited. This will be fun. Yeah, as always, you know what to do, guys. Can't wait till we actually get this thing started for real.
It's coming. Be here in the blink of an eye. Catch fam leagues. I'll start getting that put together soon too. We're gonna have a lot of fun this year, guys. We're gonna have a lot of good content for you guys, and we're gonna hope you guys win your fantasy leagues. That's my goal as always. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys, man. Loves community. We'll talk to you guys soon. Be back on tomorrow. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And peace.